Okay, we are starting our stats unit by looking at the different types of data gathering techniques. First of all, when we gather data, we have to understand what our population is. And our population refers to all of the inhabitants of a particular town, area, or community. Okay, now there are different types of data collections that we look at. First of all, we have two different types of data collections. We have a census and then we have a sampling. A census is when all individuals of a population are surveyed or studied. And the way we measure this is by using a parameter. So a parameter is a number that summarizes a characteristic of the population. Then we have sampling. Sampling is when some individuals of a population are surveyed or studied, okay? And the way we measure a sampling is by using a statistic. So a statistic is a number that summarizes a characteristic of a sample, okay? Now, we're going to do this explore activity here, and we are going to look at a couple of data items using the data that corresponds to salaries at a small company. Okay, so this is a table of 30 employees in the thousands of dollars. Okay, so we have one person that makes $21,000, $24,000, $26,000, and so on and so forth. We're going to compute the mean and round to the nearest whole number. Okay, always make sure you are reading those directions. Make sure you are following the directions, especially when it comes to rounding. So, example A says, suppose the employees whose salaries are 51, 57, 58, 65, 70, and 73 volunteer to be in the sample. Well, how do we find the mean? If you remember, in order to find the mean, we are going to take all of the data items, add them, and divide by the total number of items. So, if we add these together, 51, 57, 58, 65, 70, and 73, we get a total of 374. Okay, now how many total items did we add together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 means we're dividing by 6, and you get a total of 62.3. Now remember, the directions did say to round to the nearest whole number, so our final answer, mean, is about 62. That means that the average of those 6 employees would be $62,000. Okay. Example B says, suppose the 6 salaries in the first 2 columns, so we're looking at these 2 columns here. Suppose that the first 2 columns are chosen. Go ahead and find the mean. So we're going to add those. We have 21 plus 44 plus 58 plus 24 plus 46 plus 62. Add those up. We get a total of 255. And once again, divided by 6 gives us 42.5. Round to the nearest whole number. That means the mean is about, squiggly lines means about, 43. And we're using the squiggly lines because we are rounding. It is not the exact value. All right, so go ahead and hit the pause button on this video and go ahead and attempt to do C and D and come back and check your answers when you're done with it. So hit the pause button. There, I hope you guys were able to do this. Mean is something that we learn in pre-algebra, right? It is a pre-algebra standard, so I do expect all of you to remember how to find the mean. For C, you should have an answer of 54, and for D, you should have an answer of 48. Okay, now the reflection question is something that I want you guys to take a look at. It says, compute the mean of the population, list the 4 sample means from the best to the worst in terms of how well each sample mean estimates the population mean. So go ahead and answer that, and we can discuss this in class later on.